Hi, it's Nina Zapala here. This place to talk about spiritual personality type. Sorry, my hair is blowing. It's a little windy here today, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful day, and as you can see behind me, there's a huge blooming azalea bush. So yes, spring has sprung. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm going to be talking about spring and how we look at spring as a time of growth, a time of renewal, a time of new beginnings. And, with the pandemic that's been shadowing us for going on like 2 years now, a lot of us have been in this state of rethinking ourselves. We might be seeing friends moving, maybe even getting divorced, maybe getting married, maybe having kids. And we're like, why am I stuck? Why do I feel stuck in all of this? Why aren't I moving forward? And maybe seeing all these new beginnings before you, has made you start to rethink yourself or review your life and start asking the questions, where am I in my life and where do I want to go? Who do I want to be? Right? And so, how many of you, I've done this before. So most of the things that I talk about, I've already experienced it, or I've gone through it, or I'm going through it. So I talk what's very relevant in my life. So this happened to me a while ago, and I was looking at, gosh, everyone else is doing this, I should be doing this. But I think in the pandemic times, yes, some of us still are taking the very conventional road that's been mapped out, and society has told us these are the steps you take. Get your job, get married, have kids, that very rote existence. It's not good or bad, but is it for you? And what we're finding is, like 86% of people aren't even happy in their jobs. That's why there's this great resignation going on across the United States. And probably the world. And, we're saying psychology today says that 93% of us want to change something about ourselves. So it's not like this has been something new. But what has happened is the pandemic has shined a big spotlight on it and has brought a lot of us into more awareness about this. So let me ask you, are you feeling stuck? Are you feeling stuck in where you are? Are you becoming anxious because you're seeing all your friends, maybe leave a place where you've lived forever and they're all migrating to somewhere else, right? They're getting married, or they're getting divorced, or they're totally changing their career, their lifestyle, how they exist in the world. Is that making you nervous? Are you feeling lesser than because of that? Because you're not doing anything? Well, I'm here to tell you, I congratulate you. I know, and this is a place, where there's going to be unconventional thinking. So why I say that is I congratulate you for not following what we've been taught, because I believe there's a new way. And if if you're familiar with my channel, I speak a lot about spiritual personality typing. So it's personality typing with a spiritual understanding, because we are here as spiritual beings on a human journey. So I think you need to address yourself first. And I think you were smart not to just jump into something and just do it because that's what the status quo is right now. Like, everyone's moving, everyone's selling their house. Why? What fear is driving that? And it's usually some kind of concocted fear, that's been promoted and propagandized to make everybody run towards that and to react towards that fear. That's not what we're supposed to be doing. So if you're feeling stuck and you're not sure of your next steps, I commend you. Because that tells me you're trusting more than what the external world's showing you. You are questioning what the external world is showing you, and that is huge. That's really, really big. So feel good about that. Because if you're questioning what you're being fed by the propagandists which we get fed every day. And it doesn't matter what industry you're in. It's just how the world has worked until now. And the pandemic is teaching us and is showing us there is a different way. That's what's so exciting about this pandemic. And I know the pandemic isn't exciting as far as the fear and the chaos it's brought and the illness that it's brought and all those things. That's not exciting. But I'm looking at it from two different perspectives. And I don't want to stay in the fear perspective. Like, I'm going to die from COVID. I'm not going to stay in that perspective. I know that's what we're being fed. I don't live in that perspective. I live in the perspective that, wow, this pandemic is showing us what we really want out of life. And that, my friend, is exciting. And so for you not to jump on the bandwagon and say, okay, I should get married, or maybe I should move into my house or get a new job. And all those things are fine. But if you don't know yourself and you don't know your personality type, guess what? You're not going to make the right decision. And then you're going to be back there like I did. And I did this a couple of times. You're going to be back reviewing your life going, why the hell am I so unhappy? Why do these same things keep on sabotaging me? And for me, I didn't know myself. I certainly didn't know my personality type. I thought I was in tune spiritually, and I was to a certain extent, but not to the extent that I am now. I mean, I invite that into my life every single day. It's now a practice. There's nothing more important to me than my spiritual practices and keeping my personality type a priority. There's nothing more important. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I'm picking out clothes. It doesn't matter if I'm looking for a career or I'm working on my books. What's lighting me up? And my personality type is kind of like that, the runway lights of your life, and it shows you what lights you up. But then your spiritual self guides you. It guides you off. It guides you in the takeoff. And now you're off. Because if you just look at your life, and this is what we've been taught again, I'm just reiterating this. If you look at your life, and if you look at how we've been taught to interpret our personality type, it's been very career oriented. Not that that's a bad thing, but I certainly believe that our personality type is much more than a tool just for your career. I don't believe that at all. I believe it has aspects of it that are certainly, yes, for that. But I believe it's a tool that's here to assist your soul, to assist your higher self. So your soul self, that higher self, when it starts getting those downloads from co-creator, from like the creator, divine intelligence, the universe, Allah, Buddha, whatever you want to call that, God, all right, like I raised Catholic, so I use God a lot. Funny that I said it, raised Catholic. I'm not Catholic. I don't like to label myself on any of that stuff. But so you know, you have to have those downloads. And where does it go? Can't go to your personality type to begin with, because that's a human construct. And personality type is here to help you function on the human plane. It's got to go to your higher self. It's got to go through your soul self. And then your soul self expresses itself through your personality type. And that's when you can take divinely inspired actions. So if you feel like you're watching everybody rethink their lives and you're sitting there going, I'm stuck, I don't know what the hell I want to do, good for you. That means you're willing to examine yourself. That means you're willing to not just look out to the external world and just buy what they're serving. You're not doing that. You should be really proud of yourself for that. We're not taught to do that. We're not taught to question. We're taught just to march along. Do what they tell you. That's what we're taught. That's not what divine intelligence intended for us at all. Just not. And the way we're taught about our personality is the same thing. So, yeah. I know. It gets a little, So, if you're at that place where you feel like you don't know where to go, what your next step is, I do offer guided soul sessions to get you started on your journey. I will not tell you what to do. I will not use personality typing as a generic tool, as a stereotypical tool. I don't do that. I look at it very much from a spiritual understanding, right? Because your personality type, if it's healthy and balanced, will give you a spiritual discernment. And that spiritual discernment leads you to what this blog is kind of about, is to exploring those values and beliefs that no longer serve you as a spiritual being on a human journey. Yeah, see how I'm reversing everything. What typical for an ENTP, right? Because that's what I am, the inquisitive or curious type. But it's true. It's very true. Your personality has its own unique spiritual path. And it will give you spiritual discernment. It's unlike anybody else's, because obviously your life's not my life. And even the people know me very well don't really know me, because I'm the only one that's experienced my life. Even your parents. Like, my son astounds me every day because he'll say things to me, I'm like, wow, that's wise. I didn't teach him that. Some of the stuff I'll take credit for. No, I really don't. I don't like taking credit for him, because he's a beautiful being all on his own. But so you see, you do experience life, and those experiences are part of the tapestry of who you are, along with your personality type, along with your spiritual self. But as you weave yourself into that, your wholeness, into that beingness, you then become part of a conscious, you're part of that conscious family collective. And when I say that, it's a part of that love connection, because we're really here for love. I know that's so cliche because everybody says it, but it's the truth. Because once you get connected into that love cosmos that builds worlds, come on, I mean, let's face it, you know? And I know sometimes we're not taught that in religions. They're like, God's mad at you. No, he's really not, or she's really not. Again, genders here. I don't do gender rules either, because that's just another way people separate. I don't like doing that. I don't like roles. I don't like the roles we are assigned in society. It's very separating. And separating is a separation from the cosmos. That means it's a separation from love. That means fear can interject in there very easily. And I don't like that. Take what you like from me and leave the rest. These are, again, my thoughts through my experiences, through my knowings, through my downloads. So if you are stuck in this place, first of all, I want you to feel good about yourself. And like I said, I do guided soul sessions. You don't want to do that? Don't do that. Say prayers. Start a meditation practice. I know, again, cliche, but these are the ways you connect to your spiritual self. And we're not taught that. We're not taught that. I mean, I think, it's really cool. Like, when my son was young, I took him to this very cool, of course, unconventional, but it was a really cool little daycare, and they would do yoga. And they would have time for stillness, just to meditate and think and be creative. We should be doing that in all of our schools. We should teach that. We're not taught that. We're taught to go, be a hitter, get out in the world, get the corner office, make money. I know. None of that is bad, but that's not all of it. We've become so captivated by that. We've let all the really cool stuff, the stuff that really gives us purpose and meaning in life, just go. Where's the meaning in having $1 million house? What's the meaning of it? How meaningful is that to you? Ask yourself that question. Yeah. So as spring comes, I'm going to end this, but as spring is here, maybe one of the ways is to get you thinking about your direction, new direction in life, if that's what you choose. Or maybe revisioning some of the things that you have had in your heart and you're trying to bring them out into the world. We need you now more than ever. We need people that are creators and kind and loving. We need you in the world. So, one of the best ways, spring is here. I mean, look how gorgeous I'm like so psyched. My new house is a little dark inside, I have to say, because I'm a window freak. I need light. I'm one of those people. But look at the yard. So it was a trade-off, right? But look at this yard, man. It is awesome. Can you guys see it? Take it off me. Look how you don't know if you can see the whole thing. I'll give you a walk around. Look at that. It's really, 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 really big. It's awesome. So I'm going to be sitting in here a lot doing these videos because to me, and like my shoes are off, I'm touching the earth. It's warm from the sun. The breeze is cool. It's just beautiful out. But being in nature in the springtime, there's nothing better. Spring and fall for me. You're just like, whoa. And I'm not saying I don't like summer and winter. I do. I mean, winters can be gorgeous because the stillness of the snow, I don't get snow here, but I remember that growing up. And the summer, the warmth. I mean, there's so many elements in nature that can stop and help you. Just study a tree. If you do one thing, just study a tree, right? Just study a tree. And if you look at the tree, in winter it becomes barren. It sheds all its leaves. It's time to shut down, go inward, and restore itself. And now that spring's happening, well, here we don't really have, because I'm in the South, so it's, trees stay pretty much all year round. But, you'll see all these little teeny buds on the trees. They can't wait. They can't wait to make everything green. So as summer comes, look at the gift they present, a shade, a canopy of shade. I mean, it's just, nature is sheer perfection. But see yourself in that. See yourself going from, I don't know what, how can I start going inside and nurturing what needs to come out? And then how can I serve? I mean, that little analogy of the tree, journal on that. I'll write a journal prompt in the blog because I'm not going to go over the whole blog because I'm just going to go over the points that I think are very, very important. And then I also put in a couple other blogs in there if you want to start exploring your personality type and really getting into it. There's a couple other blogs in there, and I think that's going to start you on your journey. And I think I have like over 150 blogs on my site. So it's a spiritual understanding, spiritual personality typing understanding. It's like a little mini library. But so I digress there, and I tell you, just getting out in nature. Get out in nature. Take a walk. If you walk to work, go to work. Walk to work in a different way. Put down your phones. Go sit out and go lie on the ground somewhere and just feel it. Shut your eyes and just feel that nurturing, warm ground coming to envelop you. I mean, you have to take the time. You have to commit to it. You have to want to change. And not change from, just change your routines a little bit. I'm not saying change yourself because I'm not a big into change yourself. Divine designed you beautifully. You don't need to change who you are. But I'm just saying change up your routine because we as humans tend to get, we tend to like our routines a little bit too much. I know I do. And that eliminates fresh perspectives. And so what you need right now is a fresh perspective. Who you are. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to go? What do you want? What does your life look like to you? Write it out. Create your own story. Because if you're looking at life from an external viewpoint and believing that others' beliefs are right for you, then you're living their story. You're letting them author your life. Because if you don't know your true self, you're living another self, and that's not your self. That's a false self. And that's what a lot of us do, and it's very unhealthy. That's why a lot of people just are like, I don't know what to do. It's because I understand that, because I was there, because I was living somebody else's life, which I thought it was mine, but it's not mine, right? It was somebody else's life. It was their interpretation of what I should be doing with myself. And so my 7-year tsunami hit. That was broke me down so I could build myself back up. Maybe that's what you're heading for. Maybe not. Maybe it's not going to be as severe as mine, because I was way, way, way into denial and not knowing myself. I didn't even know my personality type. I did, but I didn't, I wasn't intimate with it. I didn't understand how all of the traits work and how they influence your life. I know. It's crazy. And if you haven't seen my video from last week, it's interesting because I did it like how your personality type impacts your travel decisions. And then the week before was like Inventing Anna. Look how her personality type, influenced her life decisions on her work. It's always influencing you. It should be a top priority for you to know your personality type. It's critical to a meaningful, joy-filled life. And your spirit, your higher self, with the assistance of divine intelligence, has to work through your personality type. It has to be. I'm sorry, my dog was going to hit over this whole thing. I'm like, he came running over to me. But that's all I got to say for right now. I love doing this. I hope you guys are enjoying these. Please subscribe and share. And if you think someone else could use this message, please do share it with them. And I'd love, put a comment in. What are your comments? What do you think of all this personality typing with the spiritual understanding? I'd love to know what you think. I believe it's very relevant in today's times. I think we need to move out of career typing from the 1950s and into modern day typology. My 2 cents. Thank you all. Go out and have a fun day today. And we'll talk next week. All for now. Thanks, Nina.